So what's going on, tool groupies? The Backwoods Mechanic here, and today I want to do a review on some flashlights. Specifically, this little flashlight right here. This is made by Nebo. It's an Inspector pocket light. It is 5 3/4 inches long, 6 inches long with the zoom extended. It's 0.47 in diameter, so it's about the size of a dime for the actual lens there, and it's 0.1375 pounds. Very, very light. And it's light because it's made from aircraft grade aluminum. It's also impact resistant and waterproof IP67 with a soft touch technology. And by soft touch technology, I am talking about this right here where the top is. The button on the top, you barely got to touch it, and it'll light up. You don't got to click it, but you just barely touch it. Barely touch it. And it can register whichever one you want it on. Now, this little light right here is something that everybody could use around the house. Let's say that, you hear an intruder, you think, or you hear some kind of noise, and you don't really want anybody to know that you're there. You don't want to have that clicking sound of the flashlight. You don't really want to have to turn it on, turn it off. You can just barely tap that once and be able to see where you're at. So it's got a good purpose in that in general. So if you want to sneak around, you could do that. If you just need to turn it on and off for a second, you could do that. I mean, it's really smooth, slim, lightweight light, and it's easy to fit inside of pockets, on your shirt collar, over your sun visor. I basically take mine everywhere. I went to the movies earlier with my daughters to go watch the new Grinch movie, and afterwards, because my littlest one's like 2 years old, she wanted to bring some toys with her, and then afterwards, we figured she might have dropped 1 or 2 toys, so I could pop it out right there in the movie theater out of my pocket, turn it on, check everything out, put it back in my pocket, and just went on about my day. It is a really, really impressive, really handy flashlight, and it's called the Nebo Inspector. Very, very wonderful little light here. Now, it also has a removable clip, which you can see right there. It takes 2 AAA batteries. You can add your own rechargeable batteries if you want it to be a rechargeable option, so that's a great thing. The on-off button is right there on the top side of it on the rear, so it's really easy to hold and engage with either your thumb or your finger, depending on how you're doing it. Like if you want to pick it up for a split second and turn it on, you can do it that way, or if you want to hold it and look at something in detail, you can hold it that way. And it's really, really easy to grip, really lightweight. It's about the size, of an ink pen length, basically, because you can put it in your pocket and you won't even realize it's not there. You can stick it in your car, in your vehicle, just anywhere. Any little nook and cranny, it'll fit right in there. It'll fit right in your toolbox, or it's really for anything and everything. I mean, if you're a mechanic, it's great for you. You're a carpenter, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a welder who needs to shine a light into a spot, make sure you welded something up. Wonderful little flashlight. I mean, this thing has a really, really nice range for standard use, and it's got 3 times the zoom, so you can focus in on little tight locations if you need to. And it comes with 3 different LED settings, from the high setting, which is 180 lumina, and it runs for 2 hours at 84 meters. The low setting is 54 luminas at 6 hours and 46 meters. So basically, if you're stranded, stuck repairing a vehicle on the side of the road, you're stuck walking down the side of the road after your vehicle broke down, it's going to last you for a while on the low beam. And the low beam would be great in the middle of the night if you have no other options, or if you can repair something that is on the side of the road, but it's going to take you a little bit of time. I mean, 6 hours is pretty good for the low beam, and 2 hours is really good for the high beam at 250 lumina. Plus, the third feature is a strobe light, which is really great for briefly blinding an attacker. Let's say somebody comes in your house, you could turn it on, briefly blind them. It'll help you get the jump on them. It could be warning someone. You could turn it on and warn someone in case if there's an accident. You could catch someone's attention if you're stranded. It'd be great for Halloween. Actually, I used it for Halloween whenever I was taking my kids trick-or-treating. We was crossing intersections and highways. I turned on the strobe light to let traffic know that I was there. It's good for ball games, to let drivers know you're crossing the road. In the event of a medical rescue, it would flag down an ambulance. Or if you're somebody who's on a medical rescue, let's say you go on a hike sometime, and then you get lost in the woods and they got a search party out for you. That little light right there, I mean, you got a strobe light going, and it's going to be noticed by a rescue helicopter. And it's also 180 luminous. It'll last for 2 hours at 84 meters. So, I mean, it's got the bright, it's got the high beam option. And, I mean, it's really, really affordable for the price of $15 to $20, depending on where you buy it from. I bought mine at CarQuest. They are a dealer of this particular name brand. Or you could buy it from the retailer and spend like 20 bucks on it. And it's a handy dandy little light for just about everything. I mean, in all honesty, nobody really thinks about a flashlight until you need one, and then whenever you want one, it's a little bit too late because you ain't got one. And some people just want to skip the option, get them a basic little flashlight, you know, $2, $5 here and there, and it's not going to be good if you need something dependable, all right? You buy cheap, you get cheap. You got one setting usually. Usually those little cheap flashlights are really chubby, and the light's not that bright, and they flicker and they go out all the time. It's just 100 different problems whenever you buy something that's just basic and cheap. And this is relatively affordable for everybody, and no matter what job you're in. You know, I've had issues where, you know, you buy cheap lights, you keep you an extra one in the car just in case you need it. But then after it gets moist outside, you know, wintertime, summertime, something like that, it's going to put moisture inside of the flashlight. That's the beautiful thing about this. It is waterproof, so there's not going to be no moisture. I can and I have left it out in my vehicle before in very cold nights, and it's been perfectly fine. Other flashlights, you do that and it's going to corrode the battery, it's going to eat up your coils, it's not going to work. Or some flashlights you want to be dependable, you know, you let it clang around, you take it to work, you take it in and out of places, you toss it around in your car, in your glove box or whatnot, and then before you know it, you're going to click on a button and you're going to have to hit on it to get it to work or get it to light up. I bought a flashlight last year. It was $15. I figured it'd be a good one. It had the little safety feature in case you needed to hit somebody with it, you know, like the little jagged edges on the side. And I haven't used it that much because I used it 3 or 4 different times a week at least, and it didn't last 2 months before it started flickering and it started going bad. And I was not happy with that. But now I've had this thing for several months now, and I've took it everywhere with me. I like putting things through the torture test, the daily grind, to put it in my pocket, whether I'm bumping into stuff at work, whether I'm going to the movies, whether I'm going trick-or-treating. I mean, just anything and everything I do, I take this thing with me, and it has held up. Now, the option with this, like I said, you got your button here on the back, and you got your zoom. All you got to do is twist that, and that'll put it up to its 6-inch mark. And this is a handy-dandy little flashlight. The beautiful thing about this, like I said, this is for the everyday person. An everyday person, this would be a great buy for you. It's cheap, it's affordable, it's something that you could stick in one of your vehicles for, you know, or 2 of your vehicles for less than $30. And you could have it on you at all times, take it anywhere you needed to go, just about any situation, just for emergencies. Really dandy light. And if you're a mechanic, this is going to come in handy. If you are an electrician, this is going to come in handy, because sometimes in electrical work, if you're working on something, you need a flashlight. This is aluminum, so that is a really great thing about it, because it's not going to spark quite as easily as copper, metal, things like that. I mean, it still could spark, but the point is, less likely. Now, you could stick this in your mouth and you could sit there and hold it. You clip it to your t-shirt. You could use it, set it somewhere. I mean, 100 different little uses for it. It gets into nooks and crannies. If you're welding, you can shine it into your little welding spots and, you know, make sure that the weld's on good and be done with it. Or if you're a mechanic, you need to get into tight spaces to see things. This would fit into a tight space. And that is what people need. Mechanics especially need something, because you don't want to always run back to your bench and get your light and come back. And those big bulky lights, you know, you can't always stick these flex lights and all this other stuff up and under the vehicle with you. You got to have something nice and sleek that can get inside there and look at things. The downside is it ain't got no magnet. Now, if it was my choice and I was Nebo, I would recommend this Nebo. You see where you got this right here? This little flat side, and you got Nebo on the other side. I would recommend sticking a magnet here, because I'm going to buy something and I'm going to glue myself a magnet right here. That way at least I have the option of sticking it on the side of something to wherever I'm working at. That way it would hold it in the position that I want, because I still like the fact that the button's there. But they could definitely do a magnet right here, and that would be an improvement. But other than that, this is one awesome, impressive little light. Now, I'm going to show you the soft touch. Can't hear a thing, and it goes through each and every little setting. So like I said, if you're walking through the house and you just need to blindly see where you're going, that's all you need to do is just shoot it up there and turn it on. Now, turning it on officially, like I said, you can hold it in different sections, like an inspector. There's the low beam. There's the strobe beam. So the strobe, that's really good. That would come in handy. This, all in all, my redneck rating is what I'm going to call it. For your average, everyday person, your general, everyday person, your do-it-yourselfer, this is a 10 out of 10. Even though that they could put a magnet at least right here. This is a 10 out of 10 because this is a wonderful little light. It is a durable light. It's lightweight. It's comfortable. It's slick. It's just 1,000 different qualities, and it'd be easy to grab and use anytime you want it in the positions that you want it in. And that's the wide lens right there, and that covers the whole flag. That is a very impressive little flashlight. And the biggest plus about this thing, folks, is it is made in the USA. Made in America used to mean something, and I'm glad to see manufacturing jobs and jobs here in the United States are coming back. And this company, Nebo, made in the USA, that is impressive, and I am highly recommending their flashlights. Thanks for watching. If you like, there's going to be more to come. Subscribe to YouTube, to my channel. And if you like politics, check out our channel, The Backwoods Hippie. And just, leave your name, comment, like, tell me your thoughts on these products if you have them. Other flashlights that they compare against. Because I know there's some out there like Streamlights that's $150. And if you look up the schematics on everything, they're basically the same kind of light. It's just this one's not $150 or $100. It's $20. And it's for every basic, everyday person's need right here. Like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And there's going to be plenty of mechanic videos, electrical videos, carpenter videos. There's going to be videos coming up on all kinds of stuff because, well, I'm a backwoods mechanic, and that means I fix everything.